So early in my childhood, not our childhood, because this was my childhood before I knew her.
Yes. I'm also 4 years younger than him. So if we go back too far in your childhood, I don't accept.
We're not going back that far. So
okay, good.
You are probably maybe 2 years old in the earlier memories that I'm starting to start.
Okay.
So.
So when I was 2, we were going to a Pentecostal church. He didn't know it, but he apparently was going. And
so.
Hi.
How's it going?
Nellie's also here, don't worry. So she'll probably be meowing through this entire video. She's literally right here. Y'all know how she is. If this is your first video of ours that you're watching, don't do that. For those of you who don't know, though, this is Isaac. This is my husband. And I, most of you here know us, you know him, but just in case, I don't know. And he's going to share his side of this. The video that I put up first with this Becoming Catholic series, where I went over kind of the backstory for this, would you say? Is that good?
Yeah, I'd say that's a good
the intro for you guys, but also just to kind of set the stage a little bit. We thought maybe he could do the same. So this will be his version of this video. Just for transparency, the way that I did for my video, it is currently February 21st, 2026. I don't entirely know when I'm going to post this. I originally thought this was going to be a summer vlog series, so these would start getting posted in June. I think that's what I've said almost every single video, is that it would be June or July by the time you're seeing this. But I'm realizing now that I don't think I can keep this a secret for that long. If nothing else, I have to talk or I'll die. So I don't know how good of a job I'm going to be doing at keeping a secret from you guys, especially because those of you who are here right now as we're filming this, the people in this tier that can see this, one of you already knows because we had to tell you, and the other 3, you guys are our friends. You've been with us in the ministry for practically the entire time, if not the entire time.
To clarify, the one who knows is also our friend.
Yes. As we're recording this, we had one of the Zooms last night, and it took everything in me not to be I have something to tell you, and just start talking. I don't know that I'm gonna make it until June. So
I also was sitting there wondering if she had mentioned it already.
I had not.
Cooking downstairs.
I had
came up to her talking about Lent, and I was like,
I had not mentioned it, but I did show her our new Bibles. I didn't spin them around, so she may not have caught that they were Catholic Bibles. But we were talking about Bibles, so I don't know. Also, other than Jason, all of you were here last time, currently, as we're talking about this, when we started, I want to say dabbling in Catholicism, but that makes it sound like witchcraft. But
it is not witchcraft.
It is not witchcraft, and it's not paganism, and yeah. But anyway, I've talked for 5 minutes straight for a video that is supposed to be yours. So
my early memories of Christianity was we were going to this church and going to that church, trying to figure out where we wanted to attend. And we were attending a Baptist church where I ended up getting saved and getting baptized. We'd gone there for a few years and then ended up, for one reason or another, wanting to try a different church. We went to, I think it was another Baptist church, but it was a new plant church. They were renting a building at the time. And
Sorry, I'm playing with the cat.
went there for a while. And then from there, ended up trying a non-denominational church. And we liked it well enough. Everybody, mom and dad seemed to be happy with its teachings and its doctrines, and decided to become full members. And we went there for the majority of my young adult and teen years. And throughout that time, I've only known one Catholic. It was another homeschooler that was a good friend of mine. I haven't seen or talked to them in a long time, but that doesn't matter. Didn't have much interactions with the Catholic faith or people who were Catholic. My interactions with my friend, he never really talked about it much. I think, if I remember correctly, there was one time for Ash Wednesday, he had the ashes on his forehead. And I asked what it was, and he said, "It's my ashes for Ash Wednesday." And that was the end of the conversation on that. Didn't know much about it. Been raised to believe through various short conversations. I can't even remember what conversations we actually had, but I got the idea in my head that Catholics were wrong, borderline idolaters, and weird. That praying to the saints was bad because you're not supposed to be contacting the dead, and they're praying to statues, so therefore they're worshiping. Got the idea that Catholics are scary and weird and stay away from it because it's bad.
Three-headed monster.
Yeah,
type
basically.
Of thing. Yeah.
And so for the majority of my life, I had in my head that Catholics were
Catholics
wrong,
will
and that I needed to stay away from that. Then ended up moving over to Tennessee, to the Knoxville area. Lived there for a while. Ended up going to a couple different churches over there. Ended up settling in-ish with I think it was a non-denom over there as well. And was going there because I had a friend over there that was going, and went there for a while. Decided to move a little closer to home, so I moved to where we are now for a time, about 2-ish years. Went to a couple of churches over here from various different friends, and then ended up going to the one that our pastor Jason, who y'all know, is part of
Good
this group.
old local church called Redacted.
Yes.
You know it, you love it.
Went there for a while.
Didn't even catch it.
My sister contacted me and offered me a basically free room and board while I try to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. Currently, I was working at Walmart, which isn't a bad place to work. And if you want to pursue a career in that, you can do pretty well. But my sister and her husband saw more potential in me than stocking shelves for the rest of my life. And so they invited me to come over, where I moved to that area and ended up getting a job at Chick-fil-A, where I met my wonderful wife. We hit it off pretty darn good, and ended up going to church together. Our first date was Christmas shopping for my nieces and nephews.
And our second date was church.
Mm-hmm. And we went to a Baptist church for a while.
Then
From there, she expressed about August 2024, y'all have heard her side of the story, that she was curious about the Catholic Church, and me being stigmatized, or whatever the word is I'm looking for, I think that's the right word, against the Catholic Church.
Something like that.
Was very nervous and very skeptical. I was
Pardon me,
willing
everybody. Okay.
to an extent to hear her out, and but I was at that point not willing to join or even go to OCIA.
Which I don't know that I really was either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how much detail went into that because that was like over a week ago that I filmed this, and also I can't remember yesterday very well. So, but I do just want to interrupt here and say, I think if I had felt like I needed to join the Catholic Church at the time, it would have come from like a place of almost like guilt, where it's like, oh, okay, well, if this is the truth, then I guess I need to submit to it. But like, I didn't understand it. I didn't believe it. It was mostly that like I felt overwhelmed, maybe. And I think I know I brought that emotion with me into my conversations with you,
who was already this and...
at the time. Yeah, so that didn't help anything, but I wasn't yet like pressuring him into Catholicism in the way that I would be a little bit later, but I digress.
So we expressed interest in... She expressed interest in Catholicism at that point, and I was listening, and I threw a lot of... I feel like you had to pry it out of me a little bit to get my reasonings why, because part of me was just not sure, and then the more I thought about it, the more I talked about it, the stigmatisms came out.
The astigmatism?
The astigmatisms.
That's me. I've got the astigmatism.
The idea that Catholics are basically pagans or idolatry worshippers, stuff like that. And it took a long time for me to come around. We, I think, went back to the Baptist church for a little while and then left that church again. I don't know that we
ever went back there. Or at least not for...
I think we like went to a Sunday or something occasionally.
I think I went, or we went, like around the time that my mom passed away, because I felt bad. That church did help with mom's services. That's the church that she wanted to use because it was the last one she attended. And so I felt bad because I was like, okay, well, like we are technically members here. We should probably attend we should probably attend the services. So I think I went to like the Wednesday before her memorial, and then probably the Sunday after. I think that was about it.
I remember us going to an outside service because they were doing some repair work from the hurricane on the interior. But
they were already remodeling the interior.
Yeah, that's
it
right.
wasn't.
Yeah, but nonetheless,
whatever, it doesn't matter.
We from there tried out other churches, some Pentecostal churches, and then ended up deciding that we just couldn't find a church we could go to in Asheville because they all were pretty wonky.
Which, side note, if you are watching and you are from the Asheville area and you're looking for a church, they're not all wonky. And I have a couple that I did really enjoy, just between searching for like a good church to go to and then health issues and then wrestling with Catholicism. We didn't go in person to try every single last church, but I do have at least one Protestant church in the Asheville like city limits that I enjoy, and then we were going to St. Eugene's over there. So if you are Catholic in the area, but obviously Catholics don't play the like, oh well, I don't like this parish game the way that you can as a Protestant. So moving on.
Where was I?
You were talking about we went to like Pentecostal churches and Baptist churches.
And then Lily comes back to me a while later and says, what if we did actually become Catholic? What if we started going to Mass? What if we went and talked to the father over there or the deacon? And I was a little more willing, but still very skittish. And we started making steps to talk to the deacon about OCIA, and we started attending Mass over there for a little while. The deacon over there kept having to push it off because he kept having to have various procedures done with his eye. Nothing life-threatening, but he just wasn't physically able to run OCIA at the time. And so we didn't actually get around to starting OCIA. Ultimately, before we moved away, one or both of us started getting
I think both
skittish.
Of us got a little skittish. And then the great heating of the summer where we didn't have AC, and so that made it even harder to leave the house.
Mhm.
So I gave up.
Yeah. So we backed out of trying to join the Catholic Church at that point, and we're just focused on surviving. And then as summer's drawing to a close, we are getting into fall. We get a letter saying you've got to skedaddle. So we found out we had to move, and we were doing what we had to do, making phone calls, getting things set up, and Pastor Jason got us connected with someone who enabled us to find this place that we're in right now. Thanks to all persons involved, it was very wonderful. Made the process a lot better than it could have been. Got over here, and we were trying to figure out where, once we got settled, where we wanted to go to church, and I really wanted to go to Redacted with Pastor Jason, and she wasn't so sure.
I had already spotted the Catholic Church down the street.
I didn't know she was interested in the Catholicism again. So we were looking here, looking there, and we were about to go to a church literally just down the road from us. And ultimately, we came back, and she was willing to go to Redacted. So started going there for a while. Came to me and said, first off, she was just needed to get out of the house. She was very antsy, and so we hopped in the car, went for a drive, ended up parking down near the little other side of the town near a park, and started talking, and she said, I gotta be Catholic. And said that she was willing to wait as long as I needed to wait, as long as I was willing to eventually go. And if I knew for sure I would never, then she was going to go on her own. And I thought about it, and I had already kind of been having thoughts about, I feel like I had started having thoughts about questions in the Protestant side of the faith. And so I was already willing to an extent, and we were talking, and I finally decided that I was going to give it a try. I was going to allow the possibility to be. And originally we had talked about going to Mass on Saturday and church on Sunday, and then do OCIA on, I think it's Thursdays? Yeah, Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
And see how we feel a year down the road, see if I'm more willing or not, or whatever. And I had said a prayer that something along the lines of, if this is where you want me, Lord, pull me all in. Take me off the fence. I don't want to be sitting on the fence for the next year trying to figure out which side I want to be on. And within the next couple of days.
It was the next morning.
It was the next morning.
It was the next morning. We had talked, I think it was Friday night. So that would have been the 6th. And then Saturday morning, you were like, okay.
Mm-hmm. So I was ready to...
I only remember because it startled me. Like, I'm not just correcting him to be correcting him. Like, I was like, okay.
So I decided that I was all in. I wanted to join OCIA, not with the skepticism, but with the want to join, and to go to Mass, not to sit in both boats, not to have one foot on either side of the line, but to fully go in. And we had a conversation about, do I believe this, and this of the Catholic Church? And I said, yes, and yes. Didn't have any thoughts of, do I really, or am I just saying yes because I want to make it happen? It was fully yes. And so decided that we were going to ditch the plan of going to church and Mass and try to balance the tower until I figured out what I wanted to do. And so, yeah, here we are. We went to our first OCIA sit-in. It wasn't our official lesson or anything because they're nearing the end of their...
I think it counts.
I think it counts? Okay. Well, whatever the case, went to our first OCIA class last Thursday.
I mean, we're
nice.
both, we turned in our like registration papers and everything too. So we're registered.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the calendar for the rest of the season. It better count.
So yeah, all of this, throughout all of this, she had sent me various videos, and I had stumbled across some videos on like mostly Instagram, and it helped me more understand the beliefs that Catholics have when it comes to things that make us make people spooked, such as praying to the saints and the Marian dogmas and the Eucharist, and it helped me understand and want to be a part of it. And so yeah, here we are.
What a choice.
And he connected us with a friend